Alright, folks, welcome to the Whitfield Analysis. I'm Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live from Next Gen Conservative Studios via Spreaker on the Next Gen Conservative Radio Network and the Junior Factor Nation Radio Network. I am so glad to be here. I am so glad to be here tonight, folks. Sorry, everything was a little mixed up. At first, I had plans today, which I thought were going to prevent me from doing the program, and then those plans got changed. And then I was originally supposed to start this show an hour ago, but I got a couple last minute notifications from my sources about an event that happened yesterday, which we're going to be talking about all day today. Um, so anyway, I'll be here for the next hour and a half, and you can tune in, and the chat room is open, so feel free to listen. Feel free to comment. You can always email me by going to theanalysisnow.wordpress.com and filling out the contact Sam form. You can also tweet me on Twitter at samw_ngc. Alright, folks, so before we get into today's topic, which we will be talking about here for the entire radio show, I would like to spend the first portion of the show congratulating my friend and radio mentor, Jimmy Z. Zules, on a successful career hosting his own show. He's the host of the Jimmy Z program, and on Thursday he uploaded his 1000th episode to Spreaker. I mean, not to Spreaker, to the JimmyZShow.com. Sorry. And for those of you who don't know the Jimmy Z Show, check it out. It's one of the best on the web. Jimmy is a Christian conservative who is quite different from the rest of the talk shows. You know, usually you hear about people complaining, how hardball Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity and some of the others can be. Jimmy Z is not like that. He's more laid back. That doesn't mean he's any less stringent. You know, he makes his views known about conservatism and about liberals, but his show is actually very entertaining to listen to. It's not all news and politics all the time. Another fun fact about Jimmy is he does his he does all of his own music for the radio show, for the Jimmy Z Show, on his own. All of the riffs he makes are his, and I guess the way I found Jimmy, I've actually been following Jimmy for a number of years, folks. Back when I started my podcast, I think it was my second year in. Now, folks, I don't know. My long-term followers may briefly remember this. I don't know if any of you remember my early days when I hosted the Whitfield Nation on the Whitfield Nation, my first radio show on Blog Talk Radio. I don't know if any of you remember those days, but Jimmy used to broadcast a show live on Blog Talk Radio as well. I forget what his show is called. I think it was still called the Jimmy Z Show back over there. Um, and then he and I both, like I would listen to him, and I thought he was a really cool guy even back then. Now keep in mind, back in those days, I sound like an old fart, but bear with me. Back in those days, so we're talking 4.5, 5 years ago now. Facebook was just getting started, and Twitter wasn't all that big. I didn't even have a Twitter until a year and a half ago. Um, Social media was brand new, and we still weren't really sure how this whole podcasting thing would work, and Blog Talk Radio had just come on the scene. And then so I was on Blog Talk Radio for about a year and a half. Jimmy Z and I both were hosting our own shows, and then Blog Talk Radio. And this is why I have very mixed emotions about Blog Talk Radio, because I used them for a very long time, up until I came over to Junior Factor Nation Radio. In fact, but Blog Talk Radio, about 3.5 years ago, they pulled this crap where they limited the shows down to 30 minutes. And when Jimmy and I had both started with our free accounts, the free shows, when we both first began, you could get a full hour, just like I have now. You could do a full hour on Blog Talk Radio. When I first began, that was the standard. You did an hour show, and it was pre-scheduled and all that, but still you had a completely free hour to do your program. And then somewhere along the line, they reduced that down to 30 minutes and forced everyone who are on the free account down to 30 minutes. And then, if you wanted any more time, they charged you an arm and a leg. And it was something ridiculously expensive. Like, they wanted $200 for a beginning starters pack for just 1 year. So a lot of us said, screw that. I stayed behind and did the Whitfield Analysis for 30 minutes. Unfortunately, because I was stuck, and at the time before I came over to Junior Factor Nation, I could only do my radio show for 30 minutes on Blog Talk Radio. And it sucked. But Jimmy and I kind of distanced. We kind of fell out of contact with each other. Kind of forgot who each other were. He started the Jimmy Z Show, and really, it wasn't until I connected with Jason Vila and Caden Cowger that I can't remember where I met Jim, where I re-met Jimmy, but he and I know what it was. He and I were exchanging comments on one of Caden Cowgirl's Facebook posts, and I think I friend requested him, and we began chatting. And another thing too, folks, is, as you know, earlier this January, or no, it was February. Earlier in February, as most of you know, Gregory Blackie and John Live left Next Gen Conservative. And I was really struggling at that point. I didn't know what to do. I had lost both my partners. And the first person I went to for advice was Jimmy Z. And Jimmy, I know I posted this to your wall by now if you're listening to this as a pre-recorded podcast. But I have to thank you, buddy. You know, that night when you and I first chatted and you really suggested I go with Caden and Jason more seriously, I told you about the partnership breakup, and Jimmy, I was feeling like absolute crap that night. And I was just feeling horrible at things, and like the good friend you are, you came and gave me advice and gave me a little man-to-man comfort, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, my friend, and congratulations on your 1000th show. He truly is an amazing talk show host and an amazing friend. I'm so glad I have him. All right, folks. So tonight we are going to discuss one topic in depth, and I've got to check Facebook for a sec, because someone's trying to contact me, and I think they want the link to the show. So let me give that to them real quick. Hang on. But folks, tonight we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about an incident that occurred on Thursday evening. And for those of you who haven't heard about this incident yet, Caden Cowger was attacked once again by a freaking liberal, and he was bullied and picked on, and this liberal turd was absolutely just. He said some really nasty things to Caden. This a-hole threatened Caden multiple times and told him to go kill himself. And folks, this is a topic that I want to discuss, not just because of Caden, but also because this is, ladies and gentlemen, young conservatives more and more are getting death threats. And this is a serious issue that we need to discuss. And I really don't know how else to start this off, but this guy is just, I mean, the comment he made toward Caden is just despicable. And this guy tried pulling his video off Facebook, but Caden and I and a couple other conservatives saved his video. And I know most of you have heard this. By the way, hello, Michael James. That's me that just chatted to you. And so we're going to play this clip. I didn't have time. I didn't have time to censor this. I uh, I I had to extract the audio from the video I downloaded today. But anyway, this is a video by Aaron Carroll, and he is the punk who threatened Caden to go kill himself multiple times. And I want you to listen to how many times he tells Caden to go kill himself. And this is really quite shocking and disturbing, I think. And I went on a little bit of a rant. Well, it wasn't a little rant, it was a pretty large rant, if I do say so myself. And so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to play this clip from Aaron Carroll. I will caution you, this clip does contain very explicit and graphic language, so be cautioned. I didn't have time to to scrub this of all the curse words, but in a way, it's almost better that you hear this in its full unedited edited format, folks, because this is truly the way that the majority of uh, leftist bloggers act towards conservative and especially young millennial conservatives like Caden Cowger, like Jason Veely, like myself. And it's absolutely disturbing. Let's take a listen. Again, be warned about the language. Let's take a listen, shall we? This is Aaron Carroll on Thursday, ranting about Caden Cowger. Alright, folks, I'm back. I took a little opportunity to post this. I'm sorry, I took a little opportunity to catch up on some Facebook chatter while I was playing the clip. And first of all, I'm going to replay the clip. Uh, as I always do, I'm going to do my usual analysis where I play the clip again and pause it and give my analysis. I won't play the whole entire thing, but I will play key parts where I want to analyze this. Now, folks, as most of you know, uh, yesterday I put out two uh, rant videos. Um, Confronting this liberal basically, and I am happy to say that he did post an apology video. I will be playing that after the break when we come back and giving my analysis of this whole situation. Also, we have uh, Zach. We also have Zach Angel in the chat room who I'm going to be asking to contribute to this conversation when we get back from break. So be prepared for that. He has no idea what questions I'm going to ask him yet. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go through this clip and play and pause it real quick and just break this clip down. So I'm going to replay this and give my bullet by bullet analysis of this. So let's listen again, shall we? Okay. One thing real quick. One thing that you're going to notice, folks, is this guy dehumanizes Caden. He absolutely dehumanizes Caden. He calls Caden an it rather than a he. And this is the behavior of a psychopath. In fact, of a psychopathic killer. And I'm not joking about this either. I believe Ted Bundy, before he killed his victims, would dehumanize his victims. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie The Silence of the Lambs. Great movie, extremely disturbing. Nevertheless, great film though. As many of you who, in case some of you might not remember this, I watched this film in film studies my senior of high school last year. And one thing I'd like to everyone to remember about The Silence of the Lambs is the serial killer they're hunting. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I forget. Oh yeah, Buffalo Bill, the serial killer they're hunting, known as Buffalo Bill. Um, he keeps his victims in the basement and tells them to rub lotions on to like rub lotion on themselves, and uh, I'm not going to explain why because I don't want to spoil the plot for anyone who hasn't seen it. but he keeps saying it will rub lotion, it will do this, it will do that. He dehumanizes his victims before he kills them, and that's like a common thing among psychopaths. And I believe that Aaron Carroll, despite his apology, which I'll play after the break, is mentally disturbed. And I'm not just saying that based off the it factor, because sometimes people use the term it in parodies too. But in this case, you'll see why. He also, Michael, what was that exact count? How many times did you count him telling Caden to go kill himself? I am going to count this. He tells Caden to go kill himself like 25 times or so. Michael, Zach, uh, Barbara, if you're listening, let's try and count how many times this guy says go kill yourself. It's disturbing. Anyway, back to the clip. Just thought I'd make that comparison to Silence of the Lambs real quick and the whole it thing. Again, serial killer mentality. It's not a person, it's a piece of property. Dehumanization, folks. And that's how I know. And so far, by the way, I've counted like 3 times. Or probably more. I'm not that okay. Yeah, and Michael says he lost count after 5 minutes. And Michael, I can't blame you, buddy. I lost. Believe me, I stayed up late listening to this thing last night, folks, and I lost count of how many times he said, "Go kill yourself, go kill yourself, go kill yourself." It's on and on and on and on. All right, continuing on. Let's try and continue to count the its. But folks, that truly is the behavior of a psychopath, to dehumanize someone you want to kill, and that's what Aaron in his first video said he wanted to do. Oh God, do you know how many times I've heard the Nazi ploy? I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of this crap. Next. Again, there we go with the its. Not true. Not true. Nowhere in any of his videos does Caden say, "I support slavery." Again, this is the typical bullcrap that the left spews. Folks, I don't really need to play any more of the video clip. I mean, all of you who are tuning into this program, well, first of all, you heard me play the clip once in full, and you know, I he's basically and like here's another thing, folks. This guy is basically threatening Caden and and motivating someone and telling someone else to go kill Caden Cowger. And in my opinion, um, this motivates murder. This absolutely, this absolutely is a motive for murder, and it's conspiracy too, and whatnot. Folks, I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. We will be right back after these messages, and then I'm going to play the second video. This is the apology video, and I'll give my background analysis on this and tell what's going on. So we'll be right back, folks, and then Zach Angel is going to contribute to the second half of this show. So anyway, folks, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Whitfield Analysis on Next Gen Conservative Radio. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. Right now, I have Zach, Angel, and Barbara Jean in Facebook chat. I was hoping that they would both be able to use the Spreaker console chat, and apparently Michael James is the only one who's been successful at using the chat today. I don't know why. The chat room isn't working for Zach or Barbara, and even I, for some reason, am having trouble using it today. Weird. Um, but that's just the way technology goes. So, folks, before I play this clip, this is um, this is Aaron Aaron's apology video to Caden Cowger. But before I go ahead and play this, and Zach will testify to this on Facebook. On Friday morning, though, after Caden posted the video of Aaron's first original video that you just heard, um, I mean, I was pissed off to no end. And because, folks, one of the things that you have to understand about what what young millennial conservatives do, well, what conservative commentators in general do, but it seems to be more of a trend among millennials and younger conservatives such as Zach and Barb and myself, and Jason and Stephanie and Caden. We're all young conservatives, and the left tends to want to shut us down because we're young conservative voices. And I've always had this theory that the reason why they're always trying to shut us down is, and I'm writing a book about this very subject. In fact, right now, folks, I'm in the middle of writing the first draft. I'm a quarter way done with it already. But I have this theory that 40 years ago, well, probably now, yeah, it would have been 40 by now. Back in the late 60s, when Woodstock was happening, and all of the radical lefties were, teenagers and young college students. And I'm talking about Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn and, Stokely Carmichael and, the new Black Panthers and all the other radical ones. Well, I'm not sure that Carmichael was. I can't remember if Carmichael was part of the Black Panthers, but anyway, that's here nor there. The radical lefties in the 60s, I believe that they were planning to take over the education system even back then. I mean, Bill Ayers is a college professor now, and so is Bernadine Dorn. But believe me, they were talking about taking over the universities and controlling the education system. Many of these same liberals, went into other forms of media too. Many of them became, government officials. You can bet your bottom dollar. I think it's pretty safe to say that Nancy Pelosi was probably at Woodstock, and so was Harry Reid. Obama, I know, in the 80s when he was in college, hung out with the radicals in college, the radical lefties in college. That's he and Michelle, I think, met up in college, and she was a radical and he was radical. And so the thing you have to understand is all of these radical lefties, their struggle for power happened has been happening for a number of years, and um, and hang on, folks, I'm having to flip between chats, so let me read Zach's comment. Um, yes. Yes, Zach, I see your comment. This is something that I'm going to add in. I see your comment. I'll get to it in just a sec. So the left took power in the education system. And the reason I wanted to do that is um, all of these college professors now who are leftist, or as Andrew Breitbart called him so fondly, and I've stolen his nickname for him. They're called silver ponytails now. So the silver ponytails, back when they were kids in college, themselves in college, plotted to, one day be professors so that they could indoctrinate students into their leftist way of thinking. And around the late 90s, the mid to late 90s, that's what started to happen. The silver ponytails went they went to work as teachers in the public school system. They became superintendents of the public school systems, and they became university professors and all of this stuff. And so my theory is they've been in power for about, in the education system though, they've been in the education and they've controlled it for about the last 20 years or so, since the early 90s. And they've indoctrinated so much of my generation. And so my theory is this: when the new generation of young conservatives started, there I was one of the first of the millennial conservatives to start, being politically active among back in 2008. And I'm not trying to brag, but like there were a couple of us who were active even back then in 2008. And that's the year I started my very first podcast on podbean.com, and when I used to upload MP3 files to there, and that's how I did my podcast. Simpler times. Anyway, enough with me reminiscing. As I was saying, when the millennial generation of conservatives really came to fruition in 2010, they started to see us coming in 2008, but they could dismiss us. They tried dismissing me. I was only 14 at the time, and they said, "Oh, well, this is one 14-year-old kid. He has no influence." But then in 2010, they you started seeing more millennials get involved in the conservative youth movement. Thank God. And so then all the lefty academias started saying, "Oh, holy crap. Holy crap, this is not good. We have a situation here. There are, oh my god. Oh my god, there are millennials." I'm doing my best imitation of a freaked out college professor. "Oh my god. there are millennials who we couldn't fool and who didn't listen to our indoctrination. And they're they're trying to introduce other belief systems into their culture, and they're oh my god, they're using the internet to do it. And then here was the big thing. Oh my god, there's this kid named Caden Cowger. Oh my god, that kid Sam Whitfield, who was 14, he's 18 now. This year they're panicking about this. He's 18, and there's that kid Jason Feely. And there are so many more of them, and we must destroy them. So, the academics can't, you know, they can't do anything to threaten us because that would be a little. I'm sorry I'm laughing about this, but that would be a little weird if like a 60-year-old hippie college professor probably still smokes weed were to try and threaten me. That would be kind of hilarious in some way. Just if you're seeing the the dynamic, and I'm not talking like a serious. When I'm talking like some old hippie burnout from Woodstock coming up to me and saying, "Well, Sam, I don't like you. Trying something. Can anybody else see the humor I'm talking about? No. Okay, well, I do have a weird sense of humor, but so the professors, they can't really do anything, but then they teach their, college students about conservatives and how evil conservatives are. And so the indoctrinated portion of my generation that's liberal, which sadly is a majority of them, they get on Twitter and they get on Facebook and they become a lot more violent. And they threaten me and they threaten Caden Cowger and they threaten some other young conservatives. And um whatnot. So I know that theory of mine was kind of scatterbrained, but see, that's why they threaten us. The left fears us, and I do want to read Michael's. I do want to read Zach's comment, because it's a lot simplified than what I had. Basically, it's the same thing, but a lot neater and a lot tighter. So this was Zach Angel. The American left is invested in miseducating America's youth, thus gradually dwindling away conservatives from the population. That's why a resurgence of young conservatives is so threatening to them, because it threatens their sinister plan. Barbara and I aren't all that young, though. So yeah, that Zach, you basically just said what I said, only a lot more concise and a lot more tidy. Um, but anyway, does my theory make sense to anyone out there in the chat room? Michael, um, Zach, am I totally off base? And whatnot. This truly is what's happening. They're shutting they're shutting us down because they're afraid of us, or they're trying to. Anyway, so back to this Aaron Carroll kid. So Aaron posted this video on YouTube on, I believe, Zach, wasn't it originally Thursday when he posted the video late Thursday night? Yeah, I think it was. But nobody saw the video until very early Friday morning. Now, a couple of things you have to understand. Like I said, I take death threats very seriously. Also, when someone is threatening one of my friends, I take it very personally. Also, though, you have to understand it was Friday morning, right before the weekend. I was looking forward to, you know, I was looking forward to the weekend and whatnot. And then um, this little piece of crap has to go and post a threatening video to one of my friends, and I lost it, and I went ape. And Michael, you asked me about the video I posted on Facebook and why, and you asked me if I think I was a bit harsh, and quite honestly, Michael, no, I don't think I was harsh. If you've seen the explicit version of my video, yeah, maybe I could have gone without dropping the F-bombs. But let's face it, I was mad. I was mad. And I wanted people to see that I was mad and upset. This stuff, when someone poses a legitimate threat, and the other thing is, this it this wasn't just some guy saying, "Oh, Caden, I wish you were dead. Um, I don't like you," and whatnot. This wasn't just one of those mindless ones. Um, because we all get like mindless. We kind of get like the mindless death threats, all the time, so to speak. The ones where like the Twitter followers are like, I wish you were dead. That they don't really carry any weight behind this, but this is different because this guy made a full-fledged video about the threats, and this guy made a full-fledged video, and furthermore, he wasn't just telling Caden to go kill himself. He was encouraging other liberals and other demented wackos. Sorry, I shouldn't necessarily say liberals, because there were lots of liberals who were upset about the video, and I'm glad they were. Um, but he was doing more than that. I mean, Zach did just bring up the point in the chat too that he was encouraging others to go kill themselves as well. To go kill Jason as well. And he was encouraging others to kill Cade, and he said that he wanted someone to go to Caden's house and wreck his windows and break his windows. Okay, those are both crimes. Those are both felony crimes. Encouraging someone else to, go kill someone publicly like he did, or privately, that's conspiracy. I believe that like one of the charges is conspiracy, and I think you can get like second or third degree murder for that action too, encouraging murder. And he also encouraged someone to break all of his windows in his home, and that's a felony crime as well. This wasn't just some punk spewing hatred. Folks, you have to understand, I do not go psychotic on liberals who just say I hate Caden Cowger or I hate Sam Whitfield. I don't go ape like I did yesterday because most of them I can debate with them and we can show arguments, but this guy was posing a legitimate threat, and so that's why I made the two videos that I did yesterday. And again, I apologize for the language on the uncensored video, but folks, I do encourage you. I encourage you to watch both versions if you haven't already. The the uncensored version and the censored version because they both bring up good points. The uncensored version, it really shows just how angered and enraged I am when it comes to this sort of thing, and it shows my true anger, and I take this stuff very seriously, like I said. And then the clean version is pretty much the same thing, only it's a little more logical, and I don't curse as much. And I stress I don't curse as much. I encourage you to go listen to those both. Now here's the important thing, though, and um, this is very important. Um, oh, Zach brought up another good point that I do want to jump in here with real quick. Aaron Carroll was programmed by the left wing propaganda machine. Of course he was. Of course he was. But that doesn't. But Zach, and I get what you're saying, dude. But still, it was him that made the video, and I know you know that. But then again, this is why we're taking the left to task on this, and why I'm dedicating this entire show to this dirtbag. All right, so Zach will testify, and so will Barbara. So after I made my rant video, um, I also posted on Facebook, and I posted in the YouTube comments section, and Aaron Carroll later that day, he saw my rant video, my explicit version, which I actually sent to him because I wanted him to see that version. I think it's pretty safe to say I scared the living shit out of him, and I know I should use the bleeper version, but at this point you've already heard plenty of swear words, so this episode will just be labeled explicit in the podcast section. I don't really care. I think it's pretty safe to say he got the crap scared out of him. And um, I and he apologized to me on my video, and in the comments section, and apologized to me on my video and said I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you or anyone else. I am deeply sorry, or something along those lines. And then I would find out later from Zach that he pulled the video as that he went and pulled the video, which I told him not to do, actually. So then in fact, if you go back and watch my rant video, my first rant video, I implied I have the video and I'm going to re-upload it if he, tries to pull it off. And so I might still do that anyway, but then I made a condition with this guy. I messaged Aaron back saying, "Well, I appreciate your apology. However, um if you genuinely mean it, I said, I suggest for your own good that you upload an apology video, a genuine apology video to Caden. And I said, because otherwise, I said, because there are people who are seriously considering taking this to the authorities, and you don't want that to happen. And just as a little extra motivation, I told him that if he didn't do it by Monday, that I would send it to my contacts in the media. And I'm not going to name the specific contacts, but I will say that I have contacts at Breitbart.com. I have contacts at the Daily Caller. I have contacts. I have contacts at the Blaze. And as most of you know, I actually met Glenn Beck. That's no big secret. I don't have a direct line to Glenn Beck, but some of his staff follows me on Twitter, and I don't think it would be too hard to get into contact with them. And I'm sure the folks at Breitbart, and the Blaze would love to hear about this. And so, I told him that if he didn't do this, I would send my copy of his video to the major news sources, and I would distribute it to my other conservative friends, some of whom have connections over at Fox News. This thing was going to go national for sure. It still might, depending on what happens next, because uh, there is one more thing that I want to have happen before I let this thing drop. But before I announce that, I do want to play Aaron Carroll's apology video for you. I uploaded this. I found this was uploaded today, I think, and I just found it and uploaded it before the show. That's why I was a little late starting this. So anyway, here's the audio soundbite of Aaron Carroll's apology video to Caden Cowger. And at the end of this, I want to ask everyone in chat if they think this is genuine, because I'm going back and forth on it. I don't know for sure yet, but anyway, let's take a listen to this audio and then let's talk about it, shall we? This is Aaron Carroll's apology video to Caden Cowger today. All right. So, guys, what do you think? Michael, what do you think? Barbara, I know you were gonna go first, and then um, and whatnot. Okay, Barbara says, I think he's doing the apology because he had to. He repeats himself. He does seem a little sincere, though. Yeah, I mean, I would. Oh, yeah, I'm kind of asking the same question as Zach. You mean insincere? Yeah, I mean, parts of it. Let me flip over to Michael here in the chat room. Michael, are you still in the chat room? What do you think of this, bud? Okay, Michael's not here yet. Zach, um, what do you think? Okay, okay. So, and here's Zach's response. My response. Tell tell Aaron you're willing to let the whole thing drop as long as he does one more thing. He has to visit Michelle Bachman's husband's clinic. Just kidding. Um, I guess I don't really understand. Now that part you mentioned that to me earlier today on Facebook, Zach, and that was actually my question: is what's the whole thing with Michelle Bachman's husband's clinic? Did I miss some major big news story here? Yeah. See, folks, you don't always need a phone line like Jason has to get stuff across. I do have a phone line though that I'll be hooking up pretty soon though. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I get it now. Actually, oh, that might actually not be a bad idea. That might actually not be a bad idea. Or he could just come to Colorado and see some of the smoking hot uh girls I went to high school with. And if that doesn't turn him straight, I don't know what will. Um, Man, that is the only thing I miss about high school though is the girls. Um, anyway, um, as far as my reaction goes, um, I don't know what to make of this, quite honestly, because on the one hand, I want to believe that he's being sincere about this. I really want to believe that he's being sincere about this. In portions, it kind of sounds like he is being sincere. In certain parts, it sounds like he's being sincere, attempting. But there are other larger segments of the video where he seems just to be saying stuff to um because he's scared. And I think Zach really made my day yesterday. I think he gave me a lot more credit than I deserve. But I think Zach gave me way too much credit, sir. You're way too generous. But Zach said that I was the one who put the whole. Zach, kind of inferred that I was one of the main ones who put this whole thing to rest and got him to apologize. And Zach, I really appreciate the compliment, but I'm not so sure my work is done yet. I suppose I could let this thing go. Um, he apologized, but it didn't really seem. I don't know. It didn't seem sincere to me as it could have been, and so I don't know. I think I I mean here's the thing. Well, okay, let me come back from commercial break. Uh, I'm gonna take another one. And Zach Barber and I are going to discuss this thing. Oh, and by the way, Michael's reaction to this is, and Michael's a very level-headed guy, and whatnot. Michael's reaction is, well, the heart ultimately is on to decide whether. Okay, basically, Michael's saying God alone, the heart of God can only decide whether he was sincere or not. And Michael thinks that we should all MB for the time being. Um, I mean, yeah, I see both sides. So I'm gonna come back from commercial break. Kate and I know has already uploaded the video, and there's a chance that we might deliver this on Monday to the news sources anyway. Now, I will put in a good word that this guy apologized, but I don't know. I'll take a commercial break and we'll come back. So anyway, you're listening to Next Gen Conservative / Junior Factor Nation Radio. We'll be right back after these messages. Hold on. We'll be right back. What to do? What to do? Part of me is tempted to send this out anyway. part of me just wants to let this be. I can't say I disagree with you though. Let me ask Caden what he thinks we should do. I told him about my plan last night. Haven't talked with him since. Zach Angel is batting 1,000 on the bumper music, ladies and gentlemen. He got the Easy Lover bumper last go round, and I think I've mentioned this before, so he might know this one. Um, really, I would just I'd love to if I could, I would just play bumper music on here all day and whatnot. Um. Anyway, though, so the group and I were talking on Facebook over the commercial break, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to pursue any action, but let's see. Okay. Oh, Zach was muted. Uh okay, it was dire straits. Anyway, I am going to I'm gonna let Caden decide what he wants to do with this whole thing. It's his decision, and now he has already re-uploaded the YouTube video to calgrenation.com, which I knew was going to happen. And I can't disagree with his action on that. I will suggest that he puts up the apology video as well. But it's ultimately his decision what he wants to do. If he wants to make this thing go public, which I doubt he will, because Caden's a pretty calm guy in that response, then we won't send it out to any news outlets. But if he does, it's his call. Seriously though, Aaron, I for one appreciate the video. I for one appreciate the apology video. Even if parts of it don't seem, even if certain parts of it don't seem sincere to me, it is an apology video, and let me just put it this way: it seems sincere enough. Although I could have gone without you saying that Caden was a racist at the end, which is the part that makes me think that this wasn't a legit apology. But whatever. I won't pursue this. However, let this be a lesson to not just the liberals but everyone that threatening material like this on YouTube is a serious crime. And ladies and gentlemen, there are lots of friends I have on Facebook, lots of conservative friends I have on Facebook, who have seen this video, and they're tempted to send this to the proper authorities, and I can't say as I blame them. This was threatening, this was making a death threat to someone, not just any old person, but a minor, nevertheless, a 15-year-old. And that's wrong no matter where you come from, folks. And, you slandered Caden's name. You said that he wanted to own slaves when in fact he did not. You made accusations which weren't true about him. And so, Aaron, I hope that you have learned your lesson. I think you have. But I hope all the other haters of Caden, people that hate Caden with a passion, take this to heart before they post a ridiculously stupid video saying that they want to kill Caden. Because I will come down on you. And next time I might not be so forgiving. Anyway, though, Caden is going to make a video announcement about this, and that'll be up later tonight. And that's all I can say about this topic. I think I've pretty much beaten the horse out of this subject. So anyway, folks, that's all I have for today. Tomorrow I won't be here. Tomorrow is Father's Day, so I will be celebrating Father's Day with my father. And also, if you haven't had a chance to listen to my interview with Michael Garkar on the show I uploaded, and whatnot. Listen to that interview. It was a fabulous interview that I did on Wednesday. Once again, Michael Garkar, thank you for coming in and doing the pre-recorded interview. I really appreciate it. I deeply appreciate it. Michael said it best in the chat room. To anyone who threatens friends, expect the unexpected. In other words, expect Sam Whitfield, is what you're saying, Zach. No, I'm just kidding.
Sam, are you broadcasting?
Yeah, I am.
Your dinner's ready.
Alright. And yeah, I don't know if you've heard, but that was my cue for dinner. Zach's laughing at me now, so anyway, Zach just thanked me in the chat for taking care of this in such a mature and responsible way. No, thank you, my friend, for helping me with this, and I really appreciate it. And I couldn't have done it without you. So, folks, I'll be back next Saturday. Until then, God bless America, and happy Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers out there. God bless everyone, and have a good rest of your weekend and a good week. I'll see you a week from today. God bless. Caden Cowger under attack. In tonight's episode, Sam plays audio from a liberal who made multiple death threats. Contains explicit language. Oh, I didn't realize the TV was still on.